As you journey back to your childhood, tell me who or what you see.
I see my mother disappointed and upset because my father, he didn't bring home any ice cream.
Hmm. How do you feel seeing your mother disappointed?
It makes me sad. I mean, just to think, something so simple as my father bringing home ice cream could have brought her some joy and put a pep in her step. I'd give anything to see my mother happy.
How do you feel about your father in this particular memory?
Kind of makes me upset. As if he was there, but he wasn't. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Somewhat. Do you think you can help me gain a better understanding?
I mean, don't get me wrong, my father was a hard worker and all, but he showed just very little genuine emotion.
So you feel your father wasn't present and lacked any real affection for your mother and maybe for you.
Yeah, correct. Now I can see my mother spending an entire morning and afternoon decorating our house for a surprise birthday party for my father. She was such a self-sacrificing woman.
Tell me more about your mother in this memory.
Well, she seems hopeful but sad, as if she secretly wanted my father to join us in celebration. But deep down, she knew that he wouldn't. I was really little, and I remember hanging onto her leg, even though she was busy decorating and cooking.
So, talk to me about that emotion you're feeling, Greg.
Give me a second. I just wish, well, talking about all this makes you realize how much I miss my parents. I wish my father loved my mother and me more. That would have made us happy. It would have made us a happy family.
Well, it's pretty normal for you to miss your parents. In fact, it's healthy for you to allow these feelings to surface. That's precisely why we're having these sessions.
Can you got anything softer than these books? Cause I mean, they're a little hard.
You know, Greg, there's a purpose behind those books. Let's
Okay.
continue.
Yeah, well, I guess it's too late to be a happy family now. Both of my parents are dead, and frankly, I'm beginning to wonder what my relationship with my parents has to do with my being late to work.
You're right, Greg. That was then and there, and this is here and now. But in time, we'll begin to understand what your family's dynamic has to do with your current tardiness.
I guess that sounds possible. But you're like Freud. Don't you have any idea of what the connection might be?
Well, based on the deeply repressed emotions that you've expressed through hypnosis today, it's clear that your needs were not fulfilled in childhood. That fact, combined with the loss of your parents, may very well be the cause of your being late to work.
Really? How's that?
Well, the rapport that you've established with your boss over the last 13 years, in my humble opinion, resembles the kind of relationship you wish you had with your father. The thought of your losing your boss to retirement and having to suffer the loss of a man you've come to respect all over again is not something you really want to experience. So in an attempt to avoid this looming emotional suffering, your seemingly unintentional lateness is an expression of being in denial about losing your boss.
I guess, well, I think that sounds about right.
What's happening, Greg, is you're beginning to integrate what's been unconscious for a really long time into your conscious awareness. How about before you leave, I'd like to give you a homework assignment.
Homework?
Yes, I'd like you to spend some more time recalling more memories of your mother and father. But instead of repressing the feelings that accompany those memories, I want you to allow them to surface. And I want you to choose to experience whatever emotion is there. Are you willing to try doing this?
Of course.
Great. That brings a close to today's session. My hope is that what we've discovered together today will have a positive impact on your getting to work on time.
Hello, doctor. I've been working out lately. I think I'm starting to get in some pretty good shape. You never guess what happened, though. Lately, I've been able to make it to work on time.
I'm not at all surprised to hear that, Greg. We've been uncovering lots of unconscious material in our sessions thus far, which has ultimately strengthened your ego to manage your actions. You've had some recurring dreams in the past. Let's talk about those now.
Why, yes, there are two dreams that I've had over and over. I don't think they mean much.
Let's go through them one at a time and discuss their hidden meanings. This will allow the unconscious to be brought into the consciousness and may help you to better understand yourself.
Well, okay, in the first one, I dream that I fail my final exams and never get my degree. It scares me so much that when I wake up, I need to dig up my diploma just to make sure I have it.
Well, two things come to mind. First, you may actually wish you had never gotten that degree because you really wanted to pursue a different career path. Secondly, the fear of failures you're experiencing that dream most likely indicates that a part of your subconscious is stuck in the phallic stage of psychosexual development, where you're afraid your father will castrate you because of your love for your mother. Because you never adequately identified with your father, there's parts of you and your masculinity that never fully developed. An unusual family relationship such as yours usually results in sexual anxiety and feelings of inadequacy.
That's crazy. My father would not have castrated me. He hardly even noticed me. And I wasn't in love with my mother in that way. I was no competition for my father.
But deep down, all children go through a time period where they have sexual desires for their opposite sex parent. We refer to this as the Oedipus complex. Anyways, let's move on to your next dream.
Well, in my other dream, I don't know where I am. I'm broke and have no place to go. Sometimes all I'm wearing is a Cincinnati Reds baseball cap and nothing else.
Well, first, the lack of clothes is a normal phenomena in dreams. It's typically symbolic of the desire for sexual intimacy. It may also illustrate your desire to be able to reveal your true self to others in intimate relationships. The lack of money may represent a lack of self-worth.
Wait. That doesn't make sense. That dream is always accompanied with a feeling of dread and loneliness. That doesn't seem sexual to me.
But it almost always is. You feel lost in that dream because while growing up, you never had your father to guide you, which is partially why you failed to identify with him. As we discussed about your first dream, you may unconsciously wish to change something about your life and career.
I guess that could be true.
Why don't you tell me about those other dreams of significance?
Oh, a few years ago, I dreamt that I was in an opera house. I was alone, and you have to understand that I'm not musically inclined at all. I can't even keep a tune, but I could hear the music in my dream so exquisitely that when I woke up, I was angry that I couldn't hear the rest of it.
Well, remember the root of all things are your ids, sexual drives. It seems to me that you're fighting your unconscious need for creative stimulation and inspiration, both socially and in your career. So your dream of finding immense pleasure in music should tell you that you can now be free to experience your own pleasure and be personally gratified.
Okay, wait. Let me put this together. I have unfulfilled sexual urges, a desire to show my true self, unresolved castration anxiety. I might be stuck in the phallic stage, and I unconsciously wish to pursue a different career path. I think this is all starting to make sense.
Great, Greg. Looking into your unconscious mind has helped us make these desires conscious. Now, over the course of our next few sessions, we'll further discuss how all of this relates to your loneliness. That's all the time we have for today. I'll see you next time, Greg.
Thank you very much, Doctor. This session was most enlightening.
Be seated, Greg.
All right, gotta get ready to sit on this hard bench of these books.
Now, Greg, today we're going to try another type of intervention called reassociation, a journey of co-discovery, if you will.
Okay. We've gone this far already. Geez, it's been 2 years in sessions with you already. I'm having a better understanding of why I act like I do, especially in context of my parents' influence on me as a child. This has really helped me keep my job and get to work on time. I don't quite understand how this all works, but it's helping. When we tried the hypnosis, that seemed to really reveal some things about me and my childhood.
Well, Greg, you're a pretty sharp guy, and you've been committed to the process. So now, I'd like you to tell me your thoughts exactly as they come to you. I only ask that you adhere to one fundamental rule, and I'm asking for your promise in this, and that is to be honest in every respect. Never leave anything out, because for some reason or other, it's unpleasant to tell it.
Delivery for Freud?
And I tip the guy, will ya?
Okay!
Let's begin, shall we? Relax now. Clear your mind. Let's begin.
Well, this morning I woke up and had coffee. On my drive to work, I listened to the radio, the car talk show, so many ads all the time. I just love souped up cars. Probably also heard of the tough, powerful Hemi engines that Chrysler began using in 2003 Dodge trucks. You see, it all started with like the 354 design in 56, then a 392 in 57, and the 426 in 1964. Oh wait, the dry cleaners. Gotta get my shirt washed. I usually wear for the Christmas party. Do you know that a mama rabbit and 3 female baby rabbits in 7 years will produce 94 billion actually, I think. 862,569,180 rabbits.
Greg's unconscious.
I wonder how many
Who
people
needs a guy to
I've
help me? He's only an
ever
illusion
talked.
anyways. Reason and science
Maybe
are all
not
that's
four.
necessary.
But certainly not.
Talk to Liebegott. I encountered so much resistance with Greg. He repressed many things for so long that it was really off limits to his conscious realm of the mind. Let's see my notes on those free association sessions. Neurotic anxiety is what's really evident here. That conflict between Greg's id, striving for immediate satisfaction of his needs, and the ego, the rational aspect of personality responsible for directing and controlling the instincts. Greg desires to be with others, yet hasn't been able to escape the neurotic anxiety established early in childhood, imposed by his parents. Seeking to defend against this anxiety, Greg uses defense mechanisms such as repression, denial, rationalization to avoid connecting with others. That last session was especially insightful, so much linked to Jim and Mary, his friends. Greg identifies with them like parents. Even the age difference between them is similar to his parents. Well, another client, significantly improved, and it only took 4 years. The Greeks had it right when they called catharsis purification. I think by getting these repressed thoughts out, it was helpful for Greg in reducing guilt, fears, anxiety, and emotional pain. After all, unexpressed emotions will never die. They're buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways.